Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings Girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. I'm Rick Olson and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax High School Girls Basketball. Tonight, the 3-4 Colfax Vikings, who are 1-1 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference, are getting ready to take on the 2-5 Spring Valley Cardinals, who are unbeaten at 2-0 in the Dunn-St Croix. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Cardinals and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll take a look around the Dunn-St Croix Conference before we send it out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, we can't help but be inspired by her every day. So really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls Dunn-St Croix Conference game between the Colfax Vikings and the Spring Valley Cardinals. The Vikings are coming off a 68-22 domination over the Boyceville Bulldogs on Friday, while the Cardinals are coming off a 51-30 win over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, also on Friday. In that Viking game against Boyceville, the Vikings finally got the quick start they were looking for and controlled the game from wire to wire. Now, leading the way for the Vikings in the win was 5'6" junior guard Kaysen Goodell, who hit on 6 of 11 field goals for 12 points. She was followed by 5'7" senior forward McKenna Shipman, who went 5 for 7 from the floor, including a three-pointer for 11 points. 5'6" sophomore Sierra Shipman added 10 points by hitting 4 field goals, including 2 three-pointers. And 6' senior Jeanette Hajdukovic was the fourth Viking to hit double digits by going 3 for 4 from the floor and 4 for 4 from the free throw line for 10 points. Tonight, the Vikings are taking on the 2-5 Spring Valley Cardinals, who are 2-0 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference. Going into tonight's game, leading the way for the Cardinals this season is senior guard Mara Ducklow, who's shooting 41% from the floor and 61% from the free throw line, while averaging right around 13 points per game. After that, the Spring Valley scoring falls off quite a bit, with Riley Fritz as the next highest scorer at nearly 5 points per game. Ducklow is also leading the way for the Cardinals on the boards with nearly 9 rebounds per game, with Fritz pulling down nearly 4. Now, so far this season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is McKenna Shipman, who's averaging 12 points per game. She's being followed by Kaysen Goodell and Jeanette Hajdukovic, who are accounting for nearly 8 points per game each. Now, on the boards, the Vikings are being led by Shipman with around 6.5 rebounds per game, while Hajdukovic grabs over 6 and Jada Anderson pulls down about 4.5 boards. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get Viking head coach Courtney Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
Yeah, welcome. Hi.
Forgetting how to add doesn't. Finding it difficult to work with numbers may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Thought, are you okay?
An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age, some others don't.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with the Viking girls head coach, Courtney Serrar. Coach, last Friday, the Vikings evened up their Dunn-St. Croix Conference record at 1-1 with a dominant victory over the Boyceville Bulldogs, 68-22. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, it was a good team win. It was nice to get back onto the winning side, and I'm hoping that we can, use it to carry us into our next few games, give us some confidence.
Now, once again, the Vikings' stiff defense held the Bulldogs at bay and kept their leading scorer, Hannah Dunn, to only 8 points. I know you've mentioned this before, but could you elaborate on how critical that defense is to Viking basketball?
Yeah, I think we try to hold everybody under their scoring average. It gives us a chance, I think, when you're able to do that. But it's not just one person, it's everybody, and everybody has to buy in and, be in the right spots. And I thought, we were able to do that on Friday. And we've been able to do it several times this season. It helps us when on several occasions when, offensively we tend to struggle more in that category. So if we can hold teams or, players under their averages, then, hopefully that can buy us a little more time to figure things out on the offensive end.
One of the things that I noticed in that game on Friday is the Vikings had what I would refer to as a nice, nasty habit of getting in the way of the basketball when Boyceville had it. And boy, oh boy, that sure pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously, it was nice to see our defense kind of create some of our offense, and I'm hoping that we can start to do that a little bit more. But at the same time, regardless of who we play, we have to just come ready to play, and that's what I tell the girls every single night. And I think sometimes they're either a little intimidated by the schedule or whatnot. So just trying to make sure that every time we step on the floor that we are just ready to play.
Well, tonight the Vikings are going to take on the 2-0 Spring Valley Cardinals. What can you tell us about the Cardinals?
Yeah, they have some good players. We'll definitely be focusing on the Ducklow girl for sure. Jada has stepped up and has shown that she's a very, very great defender. She's got quick feet. She's difficult to go around. Really quick reaction time. So she'll be spending a lot of time on her. And then everybody else just has to make sure that they, are in their gaps and help that she needs.
So what do you see as the differences between this season's Cardinals, who are currently tied for first place, albeit early in the season, and last year's team, which the Vikings defeated twice quite handily?
Experience, everybody, they've got a lot of people back, and, sometimes just that extra year of experience does a lot for you. Like I said, the Ducklow girl is, very athletic and is good at getting to the rim and shooting, free throws. So we have to keep her, under control, and everybody just needs to do their job and play great.
Well, Coach Serrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings will find a way to keep climbing up through the conference ranks.
Yep, thanks.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
We all know what it's like to feel alone. But it just takes one new connection.
Want to get out of here?
To empower many.
This is unbelievable.
It doesn't take a superhero to bring forces together. We all have the power to reach out.
Let's go!
And help someone feel like they belong.
Pretty cool, huh?
We are stronger together.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, the Dunn-St. Croix Conference continues conference play. Now, as we look at what's going on in the conference race, last Friday, in addition to the Vikings topping the Boyceville Bulldogs 68-22, the Elk Mound Mounders defeated the Durand, Arkansas Panthers 39-23. Meanwhile, the Spring Valley Cardinals topped the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 51-30, and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves were defeated by the Mondovi Buffaloes 81-22. Then on Monday, the Elk Mound Mounders stepped out of conference play to defeat the St. Croix Central Panthers 62-37, while on Tuesday, the Boyceville Bulldogs took on the Lake Holcomb Chieftains in a non-conference tilt, with the Bulldogs coming out on top 46-39. That leaves the Dunn-St. Croix Conference standings as follows. Tied for first place with 2-0 records are the Elk Mound Mounders and the Spring Valley Cardinals. Now, tied for third place at 1-1 and one game behind are the Durand, Arkansas Panthers, the Colfax Vikings, the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, and the Mondovi Buffaloes. And tied for seventh place at 0-2 and two games out are the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Now, tonight in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference, in addition to the Vikings taking on the Spring Valley Cardinals, we find the Elk Mound Mounders traveling to Boyceville to take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. The Elmwood Plum City Wolves duel with the Durand, Arkansas Panthers in Elmwood, and the Mondovi Buffaloes are traveling to Glenwood City to face the Hilltoppers. Tonight, the Vikings are getting ready to take on the unbeaten in the conference Spring Valley Cardinals. Now, this game will help determine whether the Cardinals are contenders or pretenders for the conference title, or it could put the Vikings right in the thick of the conference race. Now, last season, the Vikings won both encounters with the Cardinals, 61-34 and 62-20. But this season, the Cardinals are off to a hot start. Now, so far this year, Spring Valley is averaging 36 points per game while giving up 52. And on the other hand, the Vikings are outscoring their opponents 47-43. So the stage is set for some exciting girls high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a moment, I'll join our broadcast crew at Colfax High School as we bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Spring Valley Cardinals. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
We've given back in a lot of different ways through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Colfax Viking Girls Basketball is on the air.
To the right side, they feed it down underneath to Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in. Jeanette Hajdukovic with 2.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN-TV, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Girls Basketball.
No good on the shot. Rebound taken away by Shipman and puts the shot up and in.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn-St. Croix Conference.
To Nigaman, she launches a 3. She hit the 3!
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
Well, good evening and welcome to Colfax High School. Rick Olson here along with Chris Olson on the camera. Dan Petchow is busily trying to get the starting lineups for tonight's game, as we're getting ready to bring you the Colfax Vikings hosting the Spring Valley Cardinals. In tonight's junior varsity game, they played a shortened game because Spring Valley was a little short-handed, so they played 2 shorter halves, and the final score in that one, the Vikings came out on top 34-6. And even though they shortened the game up considerably, it still ran a little bit longer, so it's going to be a little bit before we're ready to roll with varsity action tonight. Taking a look at the Spring Valley Cardinals, it's all about Mara Ducklow. As she goes, so do the Cardinals. She's averaging just over 13 points per game, shooting about 41% from the floor, 61% from the free throw line, and nearly 40% from three-point land. So the Vikings have got to watch to protect against that three-point shot. After that, the scoring falls off. However, the rebounding and so on is still pretty good, and Spring Valley plays pretty tough defense. So the Cardinals are 2-0 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. That has them currently sitting in first place. The Vikings are 1-1 in the conference and in a 4-way tie for third place. So the Vikings would definitely like to get things rolling tonight. And we'll be back as Dan is going to be here to tell you all about who's playing in tonight's game right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV is excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Girls Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season. Our next game will be on Saturday, December 16th, when the Vikings will travel to Hudson, Wisconsin to take on the Hudson Raiders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Viking Pregame at 3 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Saturday, December 16th.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Austin and Nikki Pritchard are just what the doctor ordered. In fact, they are the doctors and they're ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
And we're here at Colfax High School, and Dan has been running around the gym trying to get lineups for us, and he was successful in that mission. So, Dan, why don't you let us know who's playing in tonight's game?
Yeah, here's the start as far as Spring Valley Cardinals. They're going to go with junior number 2, Audrey Matheson. Senior guard number 4, Mari Duckel. Sophomore guard number 5, Riley Fritz. Junior guard number 23, Rianne Trainer. And a freshman senior forward 35, Maddie Schaefer.
Yeah, that's an interesting class, the freshman senior there.
For the Colfax Vikings, they're going to go with 5'6" junior number 4, Casey Goodell. 5'5" senior number 20, Meadow Keltner. 5'7" senior number 32, Jada Anderson. 6 foot senior number 40, Jeanette Hajdukovic. And 5'7" senior number 42, McKenna Shipman.
And it should be noted that J.C. Bovey, who's been in concussion protocol for the past several games, was going through the final stages of that with the trainer prior to tonight's game, and I think she's been cleared to play on that end of it, but the team is looking to play it kind of cautiously. And
right, and I was over there talking to the scoreboard lady, and she said that she is out of concussion protocol, but she cannot have contact yet.
Okay.
So we probably are not going to see her this game.
But it means things are getting there, and so maybe Saturday when the girls face Hudson, because they're going to need all hands on deck in that game against Hudson.
Yeah,
not that they don't tonight.
Kaysen Goodell's done a good job filling in for her here. And, either way, if they go with JC or Kaysen, they're both good starters.
I just did some quick math in my head. And the conference records of the 3 opponents, counting tonight, that the Vikings are facing in the next 3 games, tonight, Saturday, and next Thursday, the combined conference records of those teams is 8-0.
It is.
So the Vikings have their work cut out for them. And, boy, it would be quite a task to come out of that unscathed.
Yeah, this is the time of year to start getting in that conference rhythm and make sure you at least get into the regionals.
And, granted, Saturday's game is a non-conference game, but boy, that is going to be a big test for the Vikings when they're taking on the Hudson Raiders, who are currently in first place in the Big Rivers Conference with a conference record of 4-0.
Yeah, and those are games that you just kind of got to go at them and leave it all out on the court. You don't have to get too conservative because it doesn't really matter in the conference play anyways. So.
Hey, I want to remind you that tonight's Colfax Viking Girls Basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Make sure you let Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their friendly staff take care of your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants. Let me try that again. Midwest Environmental Consultants. Soil testers for Western Wisconsin. If you don't get the name right, they come back and they're mean to you.
I tell you.
Yeah. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality, personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Make sure you thank these fine sponsors for making it possible for you to get Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Also tonight, we want to say that we're pretty happy and pretty excited to reestablish our connection with Viking TV as they are once again picking up our audio feed. So the fans that watch on Viking TV now just don't have ambient noise. They get our dulcet tones, Dan. I don't know, maybe they'd be happier with the ambient noise, but one kind of noise versus another. But we're really happy to be back with Viking TV and having them as part of our network. We're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be back right after these messages on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on Friday, December 15th, when the Vikings will host the Spring Valley Cardinals. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Viking Pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 on Friday, December 15th.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Colfax High School, Rick Olson, Dan Petschow, Chris Olson on the camera for tonight's game. And we've got just under 3 minutes before we get tipped off. And taking a look at the Viking lineup, Kason Goodell has been starting for the Vikings in place of J.C. Bovee, as we just talked about a minute or two ago, and has been doing an outstanding job filling in for J.C. Then, of course, Meadow Keltner, a senior, 5'5" senior, really effective from outside in three-point land. Jada Anderson, who's really been coming on strong on the boards and helping the Vikings out that way, and maybe starting to find a way to get her offense on track. Jeanette Hajdukovic being that big physical presence underneath. And then we have McKenna Shipman, of course, the player who kind of sparks the Vikings and keeps them in games when maybe they aren't. The Colfax Pep Band, bringing you a little bit of a Viking fight song, or for those of you who are college athletic fans, that's Go You Northwestern. And we're just about to the point where we're going to turn it over to public address announcer Mike Hodel for the introduction to the national anthem, followed by the introduction of the players for tonight's game.
Would everyone please stand if able, remove your hats, and place your hand over your heart onto the flag, as the national anthem is sung by Colfax High School student Audrey Ebert.
see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets glare, the bombs bursting in the air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
That's Audrey Ebert singing the national anthem tonight.
Welcome to Colfax High School for tonight's Dunn-St. Croix Girls Basketball matchup between the Spring Valley Cardinals and your Colfax Viking. Introducing the starters for the Cardinals. Number 2, junior, Audrey Matheson. Number 4, senior, Mara Ducklow. Number 5, sophomore, Riley Fritz. Number 23, junior, Dan Trader. And number 35, senior, Maddie Schaefer. The Cardinals are led by head coach Sean William. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings.
And there's your starting lineups. We'll go through them once again for the Spring Valley Cardinals. It's Matheson, Ducklow, Fritz, Trainer, and Schaefer. And for the Vikings, Goodell, Keltner, Shipman, Anderson, and Hajdukovic. And we're waiting to see who's going to jump center for each team, actually. I'm quite sure it'll be Jeanette Hajdukovic. And looking to see who it is for the Cardinals. Looks like maybe Mara Ducklow. Here come the Vikings onto the floor. Yes, Ducklow going to be jumping against Hajdukovic. And we're ready to get things started. Tip control by the Vikings. Shipman with it. Gets it over to Goodell. She's high, wide, and left. Takes it between the circles over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Keltner. Back out high to Anderson at the top of the key. Over to Shipman, puts up a three. No, Hajdukovic with the rebound, puts it back up. No good, gets her own rebound. And again overlays it. And down the floor comes Spring Valley. Ducklow with it on the right side. Hands it off to Fritz. Her pass gets taken away by Keltner. She comes down the floor and it got tipped out of bounds from behind by Rand Trainer. So the Vikings will have the ball on the baseline. Keltner looking to get it in. Feeds it over to Anderson, out high to Shipman. Shipman drives into the lane, turns around, puts it up and puts it in. McKenna Shipman draws the first blood. And down the floor comes Ducklow for the Cardinals. And it's going to be a double dribble by Trainer. It got kind of hung up on her hip. And when she put it back to the floor, that's a double dribble. So the Vikings bring it down the floor. Goodell on the dribble across the timeline. Over to the right side to Hajdukovic to Anderson down in the corner. Takes it over to the elbow. Elbow out to Goodell. To Shipman. Takes it down the right side. She's on the right wing. Feeds it in underneath to Anderson. Passes it back out. Shipman saves it. Keltner keeps it from going out of bounds. Gets it over to Goodell. Goodell takes it to the top of the key. Then over to Hajdukovic on the left side. And to Keltner. Drives to the baseline. Gets it back out to Anderson. To Goodell. Goodell drives down the lane. Lays it up and puts it in. Kason Goodell with a bucket. Good Vikings on top 4-0.
Good patience by Colfax.
Ducklow hands it off to Fritz. Then gets it to Trainer. And then on the near side is Matheson back out high to Ducklow. Ducklow over to Trainer on the far side to Fritz. Pass gets tipped away by Goodell, but chased down by Fritz. She's got it between the circles. Then gets it over to Schaefer. Schaefer tries to feed it down low and getting run over. That time was Anderson. And we're going to get a foul. First foul on Spring Valley. It's being called against Audrey Matheson. It's first foul on anyone. So Goodell has the ball. Takes it over to the right side. Feeds it to Anderson. Tries to lay it up. Can't get it to go. Nice looking play. Just didn't finish that time. So the Cardinals have it. Ducklow with it. Hands it off to Fritz. High, wide, and right. Now she takes it down to the right wing. To Ducklow, to the right side of the lane. Ball gets taken away, but we're going to get a whistle and a foul.
I think it's going to be on 40.
And it is. It's on Jeanette Hajdukovic. Her first team foul on the Vikings. Inbound pass intended for Fritz, knocked out of bounds by Goodell. So Ducklow to inbound on the side. Gets it into Fritz. She's high, wide, and right. Takes it to the top of the key over to Matheson. The ball gets knocked away. It's loose on the floor. Scramble on the floor. We're going to get a jump ball called. Hajdukovic scrambling down there with Matheson. Got it tied up. So Ducklow to inbound because the possession arrow was in favor of the Cardinals. Fritz has the ball. Pretty high out. Takes it down the right side. Feeds it towards the lane. We're going to get a foul on Anderson. That'll be Anderson's first foul. Second team foul on the Vikings. Ducklow to inbound. Gets it out high to Schaefer at the top of the key. Feeds it back into the lane to Ducklow. Back out to Schaefer, or Trainer, and her shot goes up and in for three. Rand Trainer hits the three, so it's 4-3. Vikings on top. Goodell feeds it down underneath, intended for Anderson, but picked up by McKenna Shipman. Now they finally get it out to Goodell. Then to Shipman, puts up the three. She hit the three! McKenna Shipman cans a three from the parking lot. 7-3, Vikings on top. Matheson with it. Gets it to Trainer, but then to Matheson, who cut into the lane and found her layup. Goodell with it. Gets it back out high to Shipman. Takes it into the lane, turns around, puts it up, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Shipman. And we have a lot of substitutions for the Vikings. 4 in, 4 out. And the Cardinals bring it down the floor. Vikings up by 2, 7-5. They get it over to Trainer. Trainer out to Fritz. Fritz takes it over to the right side to Matheson. Then to Schaefer. Tries to drive down to the lane. Ball gets taken away by Sierra Shipman. Gets it over to McKenna. Long pass just out of the reach of Sikora. Vikings maybe need to slow things down a little and get things back under control. Ducklow with it, takes it down the right side of the lane. Ball gets tapped loose, but now it's in the hands of Fritz. Out to Matheson, tries to feed it into the lane, picked up by McKenna Shipman. Lead pass down to Sikora, who lays it up and in. Bryn Sikora with the 2. 9-5, the Vikings are on top. Cardinals feed it down along the left baseline. Now they get it back out to Schaefer. She's on the dribble near the top of the key. Now tries to come back down the left side. The ball gets knocked out of bounds by Nigaman.
Yeah, if Colfax can get out in those little transition offenses, they can build up some points.
So Fritz gets the inbound pass. Takes it between the circles. Looking to set things up. Feeds it over to the right side, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Addison Niedermeyer. And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Jordan Bovey on the dribble. Feeds it over to McKenna Shipman. To Sierra. Takes it down the left side, feeds it out to Sikora. Sikora to Jordan, and it goes off her leg and out of bounds.
Yeah, good cut there by Jordan. Just a little off.
Yeah, she just didn't hang on to the ball. So down the floor come the Cardinals. Ducklow on the dribble, feeds it over to the near side to Trainer. Then into the lane, pass gets knocked away by the Vikings, and McKenna Shipman pulls up from 3 points. She hit the 3! McKenna Shipman from just outside the top of the key, and we have a timeout called by the Spring Valley Cardinals with 12:10 to go. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV.
Hi, I'm Crystal, one of Santa's elves. Santa wanted to talk with you about a special program coming up on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. But as you can see, he's pretty busy right now, so we better not disturb him. So I'll tell you what's up. A little earlier, Santa and I got together and picked out some of the very best holiday-themed old-time radio programs, and we're going to present them to you during Santa's flight on Christmas Eve. So tune in to the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service, or NLWN-TV, while Santa and I bring you the best in old-time radio. It all starts at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I'll see you then.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Vikings on top, 12-5. Dan?
Yeah, I think Colfax has got something going here tonight. You know, if they can keep that transition up, you know, Spring Valley bench is a little shallow, and they can get them in a little running match here. That should open up the score.
So the Spring Valley Cardinals to inbound the ball. They've got to go the length of the court here. Fritz has it. She's kind of trapped in the corner in the backcourt. They get it over to Ducklow. Long pass to the middle. Pass is intercepted by Shipman. Shipman pulls up from just outside the lane. It's no good. Rebound pulled away by by Bryn Sikora, and she hit the 3. 15-5, Vikings by 10. And we're going to get a foul, and that's going to be on Jordan Bovey.
Her first.
4th team foul on the Vikings. Fritz looking to inbound. Vikings putting full court pressure on. They get the pass in. It goes off the face of Trainer, and the Vikings take it. Sikora has it at the top of the key, gets it over to Bovey. To Shipman on the left side. Now to Sierra Shipman, and they swing it over to Bovey, down to the baseline to Nigaman. Back out high to Jordan Bovey, puts up a 3. It's off the back of the iron. Ball gets chased down by McKenna Shipman. Cross-court pass over to Bryn Sikora. Takes it down the side of the lane, lays it up. No, it doesn't go. Puts it back up, no good. And the rebound, and we're going to get a travel call Schaefer had it in her hands, battling for the rebound, got possession of the ball, and landed on her wallet. And that's a travel.
Sierra Shipman had her hand on that ball and helped create that turnover.
Inbound pass to Sikora, puts up the shot, no good. Nigaman trying to get it, and we're going to get a foul called on Nigaman. She kind of gave a pretty good shove there to Ducklow. Ducklow went head over tea kettle.
Autumn's first.
Fritz to inbound to Ducklow. Again, Vikings putting on full court pressure, and we're going to get out of bounds. Jordan Bovey forcing Fritz to dribble it right over to the sideline.
Yeah, Spring Valley having a hard time getting this ball across half court.
So the Vikings have it. Bovey over top, it won't go. Rebound taken down by Trainer. And they're going to get Trainer with a double dribble. She kind of lost the dribble. It bounced an extra time before she touched it, and that's a double dribble.
Spring Valley has to figure out how to get out of this funk right now.
Yeah, the Viking defense really has them pretty shook up. Vikings inbound the ball. Sikora with it. Over to the top of the key to Nigaman. And back over to Sierra Shipman. She spins at the top of the key, takes it into the lane, lays it up, and puts it in. Sierra Shipman with her first 2 points of the night, 19-5. Vikings on at least a 12-point run. And the pass gets taken by McKenna Shipman, and she got fouled by Audrey Matheson.
I think that's her second.
Second team foul, and 4 in and 4 out for the Vikings. Keltner to inbound for the Vikings. Feeds it into Hajdukovic, and she was going up with it and got fouled by Schaefer. So Jeanette's at the line for 2.
Yeah, this is where Colfax does a good job of getting 5 in, 5 out.
And the first shot is up and good. 20-5, Vikings by 15.
Which makes
just under 10 minutes remaining in the first half.
Which makes a big difference on the season.
And the second shot is good. 21-5, Vikings on top. Spring Valley bringing the ball down the floor. Fritz on the dribble. Takes it high, wide, and right. Feeds it down on the right wing to Schaefer. Back out high to Ducklow. Ducklow to Schaefer. Still on the right side. Tries to put it to the floor. Out to Fritz, between the circles. Now she takes it high, wide, and right. Tries to get the pass over to Niedermeyer, but it's taken away by Goodell. She lays it up and got fouled. The ball didn't go through, but Kaysen Goodell to go to the line for 2.
I think the foul's on number 5 for Spring Valley.
Foul's right on Riley Fritz. It's her first. First shot is up and good by Goodell. It's the 4th team foul on Spring Valley. Second shot by Goodell is also good. 23-5. Spring Valley brings the ball down the floor. Finally gets it across the timeline. Fritz on the dribble. She's over on the right side. They're a predominantly right-handed team to Ducklow. She's high, wide, and right, takes it down the right wing. Picks up her dribble, gets it back out to Fritz. Fritz wants to go right. There isn't much room over there to Ducklow. Now they're trying to get back over to the left side, but the ball gets taken away by the Vikings. Schaefer picks it up. Schaefer between the circles. She pulled up her dribble, and now she's in trouble, and Hajdukovic just outreached Schaefer. They feed it to Hajdukovic, to Sikora on the baseline. Bounce pass over to Anderson. She put it up and in. Jada Anderson with 2. Vikings up by 20. Just under 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Fritz on the dribble. She gets it over to Ducklow, high, wide, and right. Back over to Fritz. Fritz feeds it over to the left side, and now dribbling it back out is Niedermeyer, and over to Matheson. To Fritz, to Schaefer, jump shot is up, rattles in and out, and the Vikings come away with the rebound. There's a rebound by Jada Anderson. Goodell tries to feed it over to Hajdukovic, but they lost control, it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that was the first good look by Spring Valley in a while by number 35, Maddie Schaefer. Just didn't fall.
Cardinals get the ball in. Ducklow on the dribble. Feeds it over to Fritz at the timeline. She takes it down the right side, all the way down to the baseline. Pass out to Schaefer, gets knocked out of bounds by Sikora. So Ducklow to inbound. Over to Fritz. Fritz, and her pass was intended for Ducklow and was wide of the mark, but evidently it was tipped by the Vikings. Ducklow gets it into Fritz. Fritz over to Matheson, to Schaefer at the free throw line. Over to Trainer. Trainer down to the baseline. Bounce pass over to Ducklow. Gets it back out to Fritz. Puts up a three. No. Rebound. Taken down by Sikora. Gets it to Goodell. Goodell takes it into the lane. Spins. Gets it back out to Sikora. Sikora to Keltner. To Hajdukovic. And the shot is up no good. And Ducklow gets the rebound and brings it down the floor. Fritz on the dribble now on the left side. Feeds it over to Schaefer on the left wing. Takes it down to the baseline. Puts it up off the side of the glass, and the Vikings come away with it. Goodell on the dribble. Little transition drive, can't get it to fall. And Schaefer gets the rebound for the Cardinals. Coming up on 6.5 minutes remaining in the half, and we're going to get a foul being called on Goodell.
It's only her first.
6th foul on the Vikings. It means after this, Spring Valley will be in the bonus. Trainer inbounds it to Fritz. Fritz feeds it down into the lane. Ball gets tipped, and coming away with it is McKenna Shipman. Feeds it down to Jordan Bovey. Puts up the shot from three. No. Rebound taken down by Niedermeyer. And she dishes it off to Fritz, who brings it down across the timeline, down to the baseline, puts up the shot. No. Sierra Shipman with the rebound. She'll bring it down the floor. Pulls up at the top of the key. Gets it to Bovey. Puts it up and in. Jordan Bovey with two. 27-5. Vikings on top.
7 girls with points already for Colfax.
Fritz up with the ball, gets it to Matheson, brings it over to the left side. Now Niedermeyer has it. Niedermeyer over to Fritz on the right. To Schaefer at the top of the key. Now to Matheson, puts up the shot from the baseline, no good. Bovey with the rebound. Feeds it to Anderson. Anderson down to the baseline to Nigaman. Back out to Anderson, puts up the three, no. Rebound taken down by Matheson. She brings it across the timeline. Spins. Looking for someone to help her out. Got it to Fritz. Fritz takes it over to the right side. To Trainer. Trainer tried to get the pass out to Schaefer and was knocked away by the Vikings. Jordan Bovey feeds it over, and the pass was intended for Sierra, or actually got to Sierra Shipman. Her shot did not go in. And down the floor come the Cardinals. Cross-court pass to Matheson, to Schaefer, over to Trainer, puts up the three, no. Anderson got the rebound, feeds it over to Bovey, pulls up from three, no. Tries to chase down her own rebound, and we're going to get a foul on Bovey. Give her a little bit of a shove.
I think it's just off Bovey.
Yeah, maybe so. They're saying it's off of Bovey. So she got away with a little bit of a shove that she gave to Fritz. Fritz to Ducklow, who feeds it over to Niedermeyer on the near side to Schaefer. Then back out to Fritz. At between the circles to Trainer, to Schaefer, then into the lane, and we're going to get a jump ball called as Niedermeyer tried to go up with the layup, and she was basically stuffed by Shipman. McKenna Shipman got her hand up on top of it. Possession arrow in favor of the Cardinals, and they get it in to Trainer, to Schaefer. Ball gets tapped away. We're going to get a foul that time on Sierra Shipman. That's her first. 7th foul on the Vikings, so that's going to put Schaefer to the line for the 1-on-1. First shot's up and good. So the first one by Schaefer is good. 27-6. And the second shot is no good. Rebound by Nigaman. And the Vikings come down the floor with Jordan Bovey on the dribble. Bovey over to the near side to Anderson. To McKenna Shipman from the top of the key. Three-pointer by McKenna Shipman.
She has 3 threes already.
13 points for McKenna Shipman on the night so far. 30-6, Vikings on top. Mara Ducklow gets it over to Fritz on the far side. Back over to the top of the key to Trainer, to Ducklow on the left side. Back out to Schaefer, she's at the top of the key. Down into the corner to Fritz. Fritz to Trainer, she's out high to Ducklow on the left wing. Trainer has it now to Ducklow on the left side, takes it out between the circles. Over to Fritz, she's high, wide, and right.
Colfax and man.
Out to Niedermeyer, and then over to Ducklow on the left. To Trainer, at the top of the key, to Fritz, just to the left side. Takes it down the left side of the lane. We're going to get a whistle, and I think we're going to get a foul on Nigaman. That'll be her second, 8th team foul. So Schaefer goes to the line for the 1-on-1 again. First free throw is up. No good. Rebound by McKenna Shipman, and she brings it down the floor. Gets it out to Sierra. Sierra lost the handle as she tried to drive to the lane, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, she went to make her move, and it just kind of hit the inside of her foot. Shot off.
So Spring Valley has the ball. Fritz on the dribble. Right through the center circle. About 2.5 to go in the first half. They feed it down low, and the ball gets tipped away by Nigaman, and she feeds it over to McKenna Shipman. Shipman at the top of the key. Gets it over to Anderson. Anderson out to Sierra. Shipman puts up a three. No, it won't go. Fritz gets the rebound. Fritz brings it down the floor. Sets it up between the circles. Then over to Trainer on the near side. Tries to get it to Ducklow. Feeds it in to Nigaman. As the Vikings save it in, they get it to Jordan Bovey. She puts it in. It's good, and we get a foul called on Trainer. So Nigaman is going to, or check that. That's going to be Bovey at the line for the old-fashioned three-pointer. At least that's what she's going to try and do. Jordan Bovey at the line for the +1. Shot goes up, it's good. Goodell comes in for Bovey. And the Cardinals to inbound it. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Ball comes into Matheson, and they get it to Fritz, then down low to Trainer. She's on the baseline. And she's double teamed down there, tries a bounce pass, the ball goes out of bounds, last touch by the Vikings. Keltner got a hand on it and did a nice job of breaking the pass up, but the ball went out of bounds. So the pass comes into Fritz on the left side, gets it out high to Matheson, over to Ducklow on the right side. To Trainer, she's on the right wing, to Ducklow, right baseline, gets it back out to Matheson, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound by Trainer, puts it up, no good. And the rebound gets taken out of there by Nigaman. Autumn Nigaman not taking any prisoners on that rebound. Goodell on the dribble. She's high, wide, and right. Gets it over to the left side to Keltner, back to Goodell. Goodell spins, takes it into the lane, puts it up, and got fouled as she went up.
It should be fouling number 23, I would guess.
I think you're right. You are. It's her second.
She kind of just grabbed her as she went by.
That's the sixth foul on the Cardinals. Goodell with her first shot is up, no good. By the way, coming up at halftime, our Viking profile today will be Jada Anderson. Second shot is up and good. Ducklow with it, gets it over to Fritz. Fritz high, wide, and right. Still on the dribble, gets it over to Ducklow. She's on the right wing. Now she brings it out high and turns. Gets it to Matheson at the top of the key. Over to Niedermeyer on the left side. Back to Ducklow at the top of the key. Over to the right side to Trainer. Back out high to Matheson. Now they get it over to the left side. That's Niedermeyer. Over to Ducklow. Ducklow on the dribble. Feeds it down low. Shot thought about. No, and Niedermeyer with a one-handed push shot. Left-handed, put it up and in.
Yeah, creative play there.
So 34-8, the Vikings on top. Coming up on 20 seconds remaining in the half. Goodell over to Nigaman. Nigaman feeds it over to Keltner, back out to Goodell, under 10. Goodell drives, puts it up, it doesn't go. Hajdukovic puts it up, it doesn't go. Hajdukovic puts it up, it doesn't go. 3 tries right at the buzzer and nothing went in. But we've reached halftime and it's the Vikings 34, the Spring Valley Cardinals 8. And we'll have Viking halftime coming up right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Jada Anderson, who is a senior here at Colfax High School. Jada, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
Yeah, I play volleyball and softball too.
Okay, and how'd the volleyball season go for you?
It was really good, I think.
Okay. Now, when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been?
I started in 4th grade, I think, and I had a lot of fun playing up until now, so.
Okay. All right. So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Just being like a good team and like having each other's backs and yeah.
All right. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I hang out with my sister a lot and yeah, I like to read.
Okay. All right. A few rapid fire questions for you here. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Flavor?
Cookie dough.
Oh, good choice. Okay. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Burger.
And what do you want on that burger?
Ketchup.
Just ketchup. Okay. Favorite color?
Purple.
Is there a reason for that?
Mm-mm.
No, just like purple.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be and why?
Probably read minds.
Okay, the ability to read minds. Of course, if you have that ability, you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Jada's superhero name?
Jedi Jada.
Jedi Jada. Okay. May the Force be with you. Your favorite NBA or WNBA team?
I guess the Bucks.
The Bucks, okay. All right, how about a college team?
I don't really watch.
Okay. All right. Is there a basketball player somewhere along the line who's inspired the way you play your game?
Probably Caitlin Clark, I think.
Okay. All right, very good. Hey, we're talking with Jada Anderson today on Viking Profile. And Jada, what are your plans for after high school?
Go to college and trying to play a sport like volleyball, so.
Okay. All right. How about a shout out to the family?
I just want to thank you for all your love and support throughout all my sports, and yeah.
Very good. When people watch Viking games, what number do you wear, and where are we going to find you on the floor?
I'm number 32, and probably be in the 3 position, so.
Okay. All right. We want to thank Jada Anderson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. Basically, he had to relearn everything. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
And we're back here at Colfax High School where it's halftime and the Vikings have a 34-8 lead over the Spring Valley Cardinals. Dan, why don't you tell us how we got there?
Yeah, here's the scores right now for the Cardinals. Their leading scorer is number 23, Ryan Trainer. She has 3. We have Audrey Matheson with 2. We have Addison Niedermeyer with 2. And Maddie Schaefer with 1. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by number 42, McKenna Shipman. She has 13 points. Then we have Jeanette Hajdukovic with 2. Bryn Sikora with 5. Jada Anderson with 2. Sarah Shipman with 2. Jordan Bovey with 5. And Kason Goodell with 5.
And that comes out to 34.
Yeah.
One of the keys, I think it's 34, isn't it? Yeah. One of the keys to this first half results for the Vikings is the fact that they kept Mara Ducklow scoreless in the first half. And we had made the comment before the game started that as goes Mara Ducklow, so go the Spring Valley Cardinals. And keeping her scoreless is part of the reason why we have the lopsided score that we have at halftime. We got about 25 seconds before the buzzer goes off and we get ready to start the second half. And now I see the Cardinals coming back into the gym.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a little heart-to-heart talk. You know, they are a little flat tonight. Colfax defense has been pretty tight, and they just got to get in some rhythm and just get some buckets to go through.
So the Vikings will get the ball to start the second half. They will be moving from right to left. And Goodell on the dribble in the center circle. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic. At the top of the key, over to Anderson on the left side. Back out to Goodell. Over to the right side to Hajdukovic. To Keltner down low on the right side. Swings it back out. Gets it to Shipman. Feeds it to Hajdukovic. Turnaround hook shot, no good. Hajdukovic got a rebound and put it up and in. 4 points for Jeanette tonight. And the Vikings on top 36-8. Fritz with the ball. Gets it over to Ducklow on the left side. Back out to the top of the key to Fritz for the Cardinals. To Ducklow. She's high, wide, and left. Over to Matheson. Matheson gets it to Schaefer on the left side. Puts up the 3. It comes up short. But Ducklow tries to go up with it, and we're going to get a foul called on Anderson.
That's a tough position to be in. She was behind, and she kind of has to reach over her back.
You're going to get called for that 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Ducklow's free throw is up and no good. Just underway in the second half. Ducklow's second shot is up and good. First points from Mara Ducklow tonight. And McKenna Shipman says, hey guys, I'm down here with the ball. Somebody come and catch it. Goodell brings it across the timeline. Feeds it over to the left side, and then down underneath to Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, she's one girl that's got to get in rhythm this season.
Ducklow takes it over to the left side. Gets it to Fritz. Then to Trainer, to Ducklow, to Schaefer, to Trainer at the right baseline. Gets it out to Matheson on the right wing. To Ducklow. Back out high. And the Vikings steal the ball, come away with it. Hajdukovic couldn't come up with the pass. And the ball gets handed off to Schaefer. To Ducklow. She's got it between the circles. To Matheson. To Fritz, but the ball got stolen by Goodell. She lays it up, and it doesn't go. But Keltner puts it up. No, it won't go. And Shipman gets it to go.
Yeah, Colfax getting back. Had 3 chances, 1 goal is in.
40-9. And past that time, Goodell had the idea to steal it, but she hip-checked Fritz out of the way in the process.
That's her second, if I remember right.
They didn't put it up on the scoreboard. There it is. And you remembered correctly, Dan. Fritz with it. Pass goes over to the far side. Was intended for Cipriano and got knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. Goodell with it. Across the timeline. Brings it over to the left side. Stops. Feeds it over to Keltner. She takes it to the right side down underneath to Anderson. And Anderson took a step before passing it off to Goodell and got called for the travel. Ducklow with the ball. Brings it down the floor. Kept it herself, takes it to the baseline. Ball got knocked out of bounds as Ducklow tried to go up with it. It got blocked out of bounds, so Spring Valley maintains possession. But nice defensive play by Hajdukovic. Fritz gets it out to Cipriano between the circles. She takes it over to the far side. Thought about passing it off to Niedermeyer, but the ball got taken away by Keltner, and they feed it off down to Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in.
Jeanette has 8 points tonight.
6 points this half, I believe.
Yep.
Cipriano feeds it over to Ducklow, and then they swing it around to Fritz on the right side. Back to the left side to Ducklow. Ducklow on the dribble to Cipriano, and then back over to Fritz. Back out high to Trainer, to Cipriano, back out to Trainer, to Ducklow, to Cipriano on the right side, and the ball got knocked out of bounds by Keltner. And we have 4 in and 4 out for the Vikings, a couple in and out for the Cardinals. Ducklow is going to take a break. Matheson to inbound, gets it into Fritz. Fritz to Cipriano. Tries to pass it down underneath, and the ball gets taken away by the Vikings. McKenna Shipman for 3, no. Jordan Bovey out to Sierra Shipman for 3, no. Nigaman in the lane, puts it up, in and out, no good. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals. I think it was Matheson who knocked it out of bounds. So Sierra Shipman inbound for the Vikings. She gets it into Sikora, turnaround jumpers, no good. Several good looks just wouldn't fall for the Vikings.
Yeah, they're just out working Spring Valley right now.
Cipriano from the elbow, it's off the iron, no good. And the Vikings bring it down the floor, feed it to Sierra, and she tried to turn to the hoop before she had control of the ball, and it goes out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, she had a good look there, too.
A little too eager that time. Fritz brings it down the floor. 42-9, Vikings on top. To Niedermeyer, to Cipriano. Over to Fritz. Fritz over to Matheson. Matheson takes it down the left side, feeds it out to Cipriano, puts up the shot, it's no good. And Sierra Shipman with it on the right side for the Vikings. Gets it out to Jordan Bovey, puts up a 3. No, ball gets tipped around, and coming away with it are the Cardinals. Fritz has it on the left side. Gets it to Matheson on the left side of the lane. Out to Fritz. To Niedermeyer at the top of the key. To Cipriano on the right. Takes it down to the baseline, and we're going to get a foul called on Sierra Shipman. Is that 3?
I think it's 2.
No, only 2. Cardinals inbound. Matheson gets it into Fritz on the near side. Out to the top of the key to Niedermeyer. To Matheson, out to Cipriano from the left side. Three-pointer, overshot it. Fritz with the rebound.
Almost a foul there.
And the ball got knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. Matheson to inbound. And the inbound pass gets stolen by Shipman. This is McKenna Shipman. Drives down the right side, turns, puts it up, no good. Rebound, taken down by Schaefer to Fritz. And here come the Cardinals back down the floor. Fritz feeds it over to Matheson, to Cipriano. And the ball gets, they dive for it. Vikings come away, and they feed it over to Jordan Bovey, and the Vikings put it in the hole. Timeout call by the Cardinals. Vikings on top 44-9. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking
Mom's
TV.
Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining?
Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson, Dan Petchow, Chris Olson on the camera. Vikings on top 44-9 over the Spring Valley Cardinals. Cardinals have the ball. Ducklow brings it across the timeline, feeds it over to the left side to Matheson, to Cipriano. Back out high to Trainer. She loses the handle on it. Bovey gets it, feeds it over to Nigaman. Nigaman down to Sikora, back out to Shipman, puts up the three. No, Sierra Shipman puts the rebound back up and in.
4 points for Sierra.
46-9. Vikings on top. Trainer tries to feed it, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Sierra. She tried to intercept that pass that was headed for Cipriano. That'll be the third on Sierra Shipman. Ducklow to inbound. Gets it into Cipriano, but it got tipped out of bounds by Shipman again. That was Sierra again. Ducklow to inbound. Feeds it into Cipriano. Over to Trainer. And we're going to get a travel call that time by Matheson. She had it. She tried to turn to make the pass and drag the pivot foot when she did it. So McKenna Shipman to inbound. To Jordan Bovey. Bovey right through the center circle. Picked up there by Matheson. Over to McKenna Shipman, then to Bovey on the left side, puts up a three. No. Rebound by Nigaman. She puts it up. No. Putback shot by Sierra Shipman. No. Rebound taken down by Sikora. And we get a timeout call by the Vikings. So with a timeout on the floor, Vikings on top 46-9, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV. Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide
send you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
And we're coming back. Not only did the Vikings call timeout, but Cipriano was sitting down at the baseline with an injury and got a little help from the trainer and is coming off the floor. Kate Cipriano. She's a freshman, so we'll be seeing her for a few years yet. So, Dan, it looks like the Vikings have not lost anything. It's just they're putting up a lot of shots, and again, they're not falling, and they're fortunate that Spring Valley isn't putting anything in.
Yeah, I think Colfax could just slow down a little bit. You know, they got the big lead, so they don't have to rush.
Nigaman with the ball, feeds it down low to Sikora, turns around in the lane, puts it up and in, brings Sikora with the two. Fritz on the dribble, brings it down across the timeline, feeds it over to Trainer at the top of the key. Then to Ducklow on the left side, to Schaefer, to feeds it to Ducklow in the lane. She dribbles, tries to get it out to Fritz, and just a little wide on the pass. And Vikings have a string of substitutions coming in. Keltner inbounds it to Goodell. Goodell over to Sierra Shipman. To the baseline to Anderson, out to Keltner. She's high, wide, and right. To Anderson. Then to Sierra, gets it out high to Goodell. Goodell drives the lane, puts it up, and lays it in.
Yeah, good little double move there by Keeson Goodell to get open.
That's 7 points for Goodell tonight. 50-9, the Vikings on top. Coming up on 10 minutes remaining. Fritz on the dribble. Gets it over to Trainer on the near side. Back out high to Matheson, to Ducklow in the lane. Ducklow takes it back out. Turns around, gets it to Schaefer. Schaefer in the lane. Kind of bottled up there. Feeds it out to Trainer, and the three-pointer up and good that time by Trainer.
She's got 6 points, 2 threes.
And down the floor comes Goodell for the Vikings. Goodell between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side, but she got called for a double dribble. So Ducklow inbounds to Niedermeyer, right back to Ducklow. Ducklow between the circles. Brings it over to the right side to Trainer. Back out high to Matheson, to Ducklow. Ducklow feeds it to Schaefer on the right side of the lane. Tries to drive down the lane. Ball gets taken away by Goodell. Down the floor she comes. Feeds it to Sierra Shipman, who lays it up and in. Sierra Shipman with 6 points tonight. Matheson with it. Gets it over to Ducklow. She's on the left side. Back out high to Niedermeyer. Over to the right side to Matheson. Puts up the shot. No good. Anderson with the rebound for the Vikings to Goodell. Feeds it down low. They get it to Hajdukovic, who puts it up and in. Jeanette Hajdukovic with her 10th point of the night.
Good vision by Sierra Shipman.
So the Cardinals have it. Ducklow on the dribble on the right side. Gets it to Trainer on the right wing. Out high to Schaefer. Then over to Trainer. Puts up the three. No, it's no good. Ball gets tapped. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Spring Valley ball. And we are in running time. Spring Valley inbounds it to Schaefer. Puts a shot up, and that rattles home. Maddie Schaefer with 2. Ducklow with, or not Ducklow. Well, 1-4 is as good as another. Goodell with it. Gets it over to Keltner. Pass into the middle, gets batted back out, picked up by Goodell. Drives down low, tries to get it to Hajdukovic, picked up by Anderson, then to Keltner. She hit the three! Meadow Keltner with a three-pointer.
That puts everybody in points, besides JC, but we won't see JC tonight.
Cardinals have it on the far side. Schaefer with the ball. Tries to feed it down low to Trainer, but the ball gets taken away by the Vikings, and Goodell with the ball. Goodell feeds it over to Shipman. That's Sierra. To Hajdukovic down underneath. And she gets it back out to Goodell. Goodell drives to the lane, and we're going to get a whistle.
I think we're going to foul on number 4.
And that's Mara Ducklow with the foul. That'll be the first foul on Spring Valley. Fritz comes in. Matheson takes a break for the Cardinals. Ball comes in to Goodell. Out to Hajdukovic. Then underneath to Sierra Shipman, who lays it up and in. 8 points for Sierra Shipman tonight. Fritz on the dribble. 59-14, the Vikings on top. Ducklow with the ball on the left side. Gets it out to Trainer, to Ducklow in the lane. Tries to go up, ball blocked out of bounds. It was blocked by Anderson. So the Cardinals to inbound. They get it into Trainer in the right corner. To Schaefer along the right baseline. Gets it out to Niedermeyer in the lane, puts it up, no good. Goodell with the rebound. Goodell on the dribble, feeds it over to the right side to Keltner. Keltner over to Anderson down in the right corner. To Goodell, drives down the right side of the lane, lays it up, it goes in. And we're going to get a timeout call by the Spring Valley Cardinals.
Yeah, we got an injury timeout.
We do have a player injured, and they're getting her over to the sideline right away, so I don't think we're going to need to take a timeout here. Fritz going off. Looks like she twisted a knee or something the way she's grabbing it.
Calf cramp? No.
And the Cardinals will have the ball and get it into Ducklow. 61-14, Vikings on top. Feed it over to Trainer. And to Matheson, to Niedermeyer. Back out to Trainer. Ducklow picks it up. Feeds it into the lane to Schaefer. Schaefer takes it down to the baseline. Reverse layup, no good. And the rebound taken down by Anderson. And here's Goodell. About 5 minutes, coming up on the 5-minute mark. They feed it down underneath to Hajdukovic. Gets it back out high to Keltner. Keltner over to Goodell. Between the circles. Takes it over to the right side. Feeds it to Shipman. That's Sierra Shipman. Puts it up and got fouled going up. So Sierra Shipman to go to the line for 2.
Fouls at number 2.
That's Audrey Matheson.
Her third.
Shipman's first shot is up, rattles around and goes off. And we have 4 substitutes coming in. And they include, for the Vikings, Leila Hurlbert, Clara Hajdukovic, and Jennifer Maves. Jordan Bovey also came in. And that shot is in by Sierra Shipman. So Ducklow to bring the ball down the floor for the Cardinals. Gets it over to Matheson, over on the left side to Ducklow. Ducklow out high to Trainer. Trainer takes it back over to the right, or to the left side. Then to Matheson, now over to Ducklow on the right. Ducklow takes it out high to Trainer at the top of the key. Trainer brings it down the right side of the lane, down to the baseline. Now she's double teamed on the baseline, and she stepped on the end line. So it'll be Viking ball. Coming up on 3.5 minutes remaining in this one. Hurlburt with it for the Vikings over to the elbow to Clara Hajdukovic. To Shipman, over to Bovey, then to Maves. Feed it into the lane, shot goes up, no good, and going to the line is going to be Sierra Shipman. And she got fouled by Trainer. Third foul on Trainer. First shot is up and good by Sierra. 10 points for her tonight. Into the lineup is Camden Houlihan for the Spring Valley Cardinals. Second shot is on the way. It's also good. 64-14. Pass comes down the floor. Off the hands and over into the corner. Ducklow picks it up. Gets it over to Houlihan at the top of the key. Back over to Ducklow. Ducklow on the dribble. Gets it into the lane. That's to Vaness. And the shot goes up, and a whistle and a foul on Clara Hajdukovic. That's the 6th team foul on the Vikings. First foul on Clara. Shots on the way. It's good by Winnie Vaness. Freshman forward for the Spring Valley Cardinals. Second shot on the way. It's good. 64-16. Bovey with the ball. About a minute and a half remaining. Hajdukovic with it on the near side. She takes it back out between the circles. Over to Maves on the right side. Feeds it to down underneath to Shipman. Pass went into Hurlburt. She got it to Shipman and was tipped out of bounds by the Cardinals. And we have a sub coming in for Spring Valley. Sophia DeBrozo into the lineup, replacing Matheson. Maves gets the ball into Hajdukovic. She puts the shot up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by the Cardinals. This is Houlihan. Brings it down the floor. Leads it over to the right side. Hajdukovic tries to steal it, but then rolled from one cheek to the other, and that's a travel. Chris gave me a look on that one, but hey, that's the rules. So the ball comes in to DeBrozo, or check that was Houlihan, and they get it over to Cotton, and then down underneath, that's Vaness, and it gets taken away by the Vikings. Feeding it down the floor to Hurlburt. She puts it up, and it goes in. Layla Hurlburt with the 2. Under 10 seconds remaining. Houlihan feeding it over to Cotton. And there's the buzzer and the final score. Vikings 66 and the Spring Valley Cardinals 16. And we'll have a wrap-up of this one for you when we get to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
2 flashlights.
What's up, champ? I feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's go and time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, where tonight the Vikings have come out on top of the Spring Valley Cardinals by a score of 66-16, a 50-point win for the Vikings tonight. Dan, before we get too far into anything, why don't you tell us how we got to the 66-16 score?
Yeah, here's the number. Well, here's the number for Spring Valley. They're led by number 23, Rand Trainer. She had 6 points. We had Maddie Schaefer with 3. Winnie Vanessa with 2. We had Taylor Trainer with 1, and Audrey Matheson with 2.
Ducklow had a point in there somewhere.
Oh, she did. She had 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that she had 1 at least.
Yep, that's my mistake. I had Taylor with points, and it was actually Ducklow. For the Vikings, we had a whole pile of girls with points tonight, and they were led by number 42, McKenna Shipman. She had 15. Then we had Casey Goodell with 9. We had Metal Keltner with 3. We had Jordan Bovey with 7. We had Sierra Shipman with 11. We had Jada Anderson with 2. We had Bryn Sikora with 7. We had Jeanette Hajdukovic with 10. And we had Clara Hajdukovic with 2.
Yeah, you have the wrong person there, too. That's what happens when you're working at the real dark hours of the morning, and then you have to come back and do basketball that night.
Yeah, sorry, Leela Hurlbert, you had the 2 points.
There you go.
And they went 9 for 11 from the free throw line tonight.
And how many people is that scoring tonight?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 girls with points.
That's a pretty nice, well-rounded set of numbers for scoring tonight. And joining us right now is Viking head coach Courtney Serrar. And coach, 50-point win. Sometimes you just get to sit back and almost watch the game and just kind of enjoy, don't you?
Yeah, it was a good team win.
And you put a lot of players, got some points on the board. I think Dan just said there were 9 players scored tonight. You went 9 for 11 from the charity strike. That's stuff you'll take anytime.
Yeah, for sure. I was, impressed with, a lot of things. Mostly our defense. I thought Jada was a Bobcat. She really took their best player out of the game, and Jordan and Bryn spent some time on her too. And if you can hold, the Ducklow girl to 1 point, that's pretty impressive. The defense, really, I thought we did a great job of letting our defense create some offense for us. Quite a few steals that led to some fast break points, which was good to see.
Yeah, in fact, we talked about it before the game started. Dan and I had about how as goes Mara Ducklow, so goes the Spring Valley Cardinals, and you just mentioned it. Your girls just shut her down, held it at 1 point. You can't deal with a situation better than that.
No, yeah, it was good. Like I said, Jada did a heck of a job on her. She spent, probably 75% of the game guarding her, and that's what we need is people just step up and, meet that challenge head on, and she did.
Well, one of the things I saw tonight, in addition to really good play by the Vikings, is the smiles on their faces tonight. And it's hard not to be feeling good when you're taking a win like that. But it's a nice break to see something like that for the Vikings. Just some of these games early part of the season, schedule makers did you guys no favors with some real tough competition. And tonight they got to relax, go out, play basketball, and have some fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our schedule's really tough for a reason, and I know it only makes us better. But, these kind of wins are good every once in a while, too.
Speaking of tough, Saturday you have one that's really tough when you take on the top team in the Big Rivers Conference in the Hudson Raiders. And I know we're going to talk a little bit before that game, but tell me what you know about the Raiders and what you got to do.
Yeah, they're, like you said, they're, I think they were Big Rivers champs last year. If not, they were tied with somebody. They're big, they're athletic. We'll definitely have our work cut out for us. We'll have to fight for everything. I think the girls are ready for, another test, another challenge. We just have to come ready to play.
Well, congratulations tonight, 66-16, defeating the Spring Valley Cardinals, and we'll be back with more Viking postgame right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Hi, I'm Crystal, one of Santa's elves. Santa wanted to talk with you about a special program coming up on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. But as you can see, he's pretty busy right now, so we better not disturb him. So I'll tell you what's up. A little earlier, Santa and I got together and picked out some of the very best holiday-themed old-time radio programs, and we're going to present them to you during Santa's flight on Christmas Eve. So tune in to the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLWN-TV while Santa and I bring you the best in old-time radio. It all starts at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I'll see you then.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV is excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Girls Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season. Our next game will be on Saturday, December 16th, when the Vikings will travel to Hudson, Wisconsin to take on the Hudson Raiders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Viking Pregame at 3 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Saturday, December 16th.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Boys Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on Friday, December 15th, when the Vikings will host the Spring Valley Cardinals. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Viking Pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 on Friday, December 15th.
And we're back here at Colfax High School for Viking postgame, and the Vikings come out on top of the Spring Valley Cardinals 66-16. Big win tonight for the Vikings. Dan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job on transition, on their defensive play in the press. It was really impressive there in the bottom half of the first half. And starting to see girls figure out this game and get a deep bench, and that always helps later in the season.
Well, we'll see how much it helps coming up on Saturday when they take on those Hudson Raiders. Big, stiff competition for the Vikings coming up on Saturday, and I look forward to that. You're going to be there. Chris is going to be there. We're going to have a great time over in Hudson.
Yeah, they just have to stay disciplined and do what's getting them to these wins.
And don't forget, we've got some more basketball coming up tomorrow night. Join us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 tomorrow as the Viking boys take on the Spring Valley Cardinals in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference matchup. Viking pregame begins at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's Viking boys basketball tomorrow night on NLWN-2. And then, as we've been talking about a good portion of the night, don't forget to join us on NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Saturday, December 16th, as the Viking girls travel to Hudson to take on the Hudson Raiders in a non-conference tilt. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 3 o'clock, and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax Girls Basketball on Saturday, December 16th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Hey, don't forget to make your plans to tune into either the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLWN-TV for our Christmas gift to you 2023. We're going to bring you the finest in Christmas-themed old-time radio programs. That's on Christmas Eve beginning at 7 p.m. on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV. Tonight's Colfax Viking Girls Basketball game has been brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their friendly staff take care of your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Make sure you thank these fine sponsors for allowing us to bring you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. So for Dan Petchow and Chris Olson on the camera, this is Rick Olson. That final score, once again, the Vikings 66 and the Spring Valley Cardinals 16. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.